Greetings, Pokey fans! Michael here, and the last time a generation of Pokemon introduced any new evolutions for older generation Pokemon, traditional evolutions, not Mega Evolutions, was Sylveon in Generation 6. That means that we have gotten one brand new evolution for an older gen Pokemon since Diamond and Pearl came out 13 years ago. Yeah, it has been that long. We're old now. I've always thought one of the coolest parts of Gens 2 and 4 was the brand new evolutions of older Pokemon. They took Pokemon that I was pretty much indifferent to before and gave them new forms that were pretty freaking cool. In fact, some of my all-time favorite Pokemon are new evolutions of older Pokemon. Of all the potential new forms of old Pokemon that we could get in Pokemon Sword and Shield, such as regional variants or Mega Evolutions or regular evolutions, I think new regular evolutions are what I want the most. So that's why I'm making this video. This video is 10 new evolutions that I want to see in Pokemon Sword and Shield. So don't forget to drop a like on the video and let's get started with the list, which is in no particular order. So we might as well start off with the Pokemon that many people have been saying deserved an evolution for years, including Game Freak itself. That Pokemon being Farfetch'd. Farfetch'd is a Pokemon that has always been really lame to me. It's not ugly, but it's just a duck holding a stick that doesn't look exceptionally cool. There's nothing really special about its design, but there's nothing special about its stats either. It has one of the lowest base stat totals of all single stage non-evolving Pokemon. The only ones with a lower base stat total are Unknown, Smeargle, and Spinda, and all of those have unique gimmicks. Farfetch'd is just a boring duck. If you look at Farfetch'd on the list of Pokemon ordered by base stat total, just weaker than it is Nosepass, which got Probopass. Just stronger than it is Mawile and Sableye, which both got Mega Evolutions. Farfetch'd deserves to get at least one of those, but I personally would rather see it get a regular evolution rather than a Mega Evolution, since I tend to prefer the permanent evolutions over the usually got too much going on crazy Mega Evolutions. I also think a permanent evolution to Farfetch'd would be better because we've actually seen an official one. Last year, the internet got their hands on a ROM for a 1997 demo of a Pokemon game that would later become Pokemon Gold and Silver. Data miners were then able to uncover a ton of beta Pokemon designs embedded in the code of that ROM. There were a lot of beta forms of existing Pokemon, totally new Pokemon we never saw, and new baby forms or evolutions of Gen 1 Pokemon, including one for Farfetch'd. It upsets me that this really cool design for Farfetch'd never made it into the game. This interpretation of it by Tomicase looks fantastic, and I think it would have been an awesome improvement on Farfetch'd, possibly making it actually useful. To be honest, I'm not really optimistic about Farfetch'd getting an evolution, since its whole existence is supposed to be a joke. Its design and its Japanese name are actually a pun on a Japanese proverb. But of all the Gen 1 Pokemon, I think it's the most deserving to get an evolution, but it's not the one I want the most. We interrupt this video to bring you a special news bulletin. Okay, I know I just did this in my video earlier this week, but I had to remind you guys that the For Safety Purposes shirt, both the original design and the brand new lifeguard design, are still for sale at the MandJTV merch store for a limited time. If you want to pick one up before they are gone, you can do so by clicking the link in the cards, the link in the description, or by clicking the t-shirts displayed below the video. You must act quickly and get one now though, because time is running out. Tauros is the next Pokemon that I want to get a brand new evolution in Pokemon Sword and Shield. It's one of my all-time favorite Generation 1 Pokemon because it looks just so awesome. I realize that I just criticized Farfetch'd for just being a duck, and many people have said that Tauros is just a bull, which I suppose is somewhat fair, but I don't know, I guess I like bulls more than ducks. While admittedly Tauros doesn't have as dire of a need for a stat boost as Farfetch'd does, that doesn't eliminate it from being a candidate for getting a brand new evolution. Tauros has a relatively respectable base stat total of 490. Electabuzz has the same base stat total, and Magmar has a base stat total of 495. Both of them got evolutions. Tauros also isn't as good as it used to be. It was amazing in Generation 1, but since then it's been outclassed and therefore is not used by a whole lot of people. I would love to see it get an evolution that brings it back into the forefront of Pokemon that are used all the time, simply because I love Tauros. Additionally, it would be very easy for them to create an evolution of Tauros. Just think about it. It's called Tauros. With the addition of 4 simple letters, we have created Minotauros. Wouldn't that be incredibly cool to have the bull Pokemon turn into the Minotaur Pokemon? They could even give it the fighting type or maybe the steel type just to change it up a bit. I just think it would be extremely cool to have a Minotaur version of a Tauros that isn't just a temporary Mega. So I would very much like to see Tauros evolve. Another one of my favorite Pokemon that I think deserves some extra attention is Torkoal. I have loved this adorable little fire turtle since its introduction in Generation 3. But the only love the developers have shown it since then was giving it Drought in Generation 7. While that helped out a bit, I think it deserves more. I would like to see an evolution of Torkoal increase its armor, but also lean more into the smokestack burning fuel aspect of its design. In regards to stat changes, I think a boost to Torkoal's special defense and HP would be the most beneficial for it. As of now, Torkoal can take pretty much any physical hit you throw at it, but it can't take any special hit. If they gave Torkoal an evolution that was way more bulky and could serve as an effective wall, it would be used all the time. In my eyes, this would be better than a Mega Torkoal, since that means it wouldn't take up that very valuable Mega slot. I just would really like Torkoal or a version of Torkoal to be a really popular, strong Pokemon, since it's a Pokemon I've really liked for a long time and feel like it needs some love. Cacturn is another Hoenn Pokemon that I've always kinda liked. I think the design concept of an ominous scarecrow cactus hybrid is really creative and unique, but it really disappoints me that such an interesting Pokemon is not strong, like at all. It has spectacular physical and special attack, but its defenses and speed are extremely poor. It doesn't matter how hard you hit if you faint before you get the chance to hit due to being outsped in O-code. I would love to see a Cacturn evolution that really buffs up its speed. Maybe they could lean more into a Desperado aspect of its design. It already sneaks up on prey at night and is a dark type, so why not make it more of some kind of desert outlaw that would rob a train or something? I don't know, it sounds cool, doesn't it? Also, I think this is less important, but Cacturn seriously needs some help in the height department. Saguaro cacti can grow to be 40 to 60 feet tall. You know how tall Cacturn is? It is 4'3" and is supposed to be scary. Are you really gonna be afraid of a cactus that's as tall as a child? No, make the dude look down on you like I'm gonna kill you. Then that'll be dope. Next up is a Pokemon that if you've been watching my content for basically any amount of time, you knew was probably gonna be on this list. That being Castform. I will try not to spend too much time discussing how Castform is the cutest Pokemon in existence, but has just been shafted by the community, saying it looks like it has boobs, balls, or a butt, its weather forms have no shinies, its stats are horrible, and it's just so cute and it doesn't deserve all the hate that it gets, and I hate all of you! I don't hate all of you, sorry, I get emotional about Castform. But anyways, it's an extremely cute Pokemon, but it is in dire need of some love and some strength. Castform's base stat total is only 420, which is, nice. But also not strong, like, at all. It's got base 70 in every stat across the board, which means that it's mediocre in everything. An evolution of Castform would give it the opportunity to actually have strength that was usable and effective. Additionally, it could also alter Castform's design so that people quit focusing on the bottom part of it. Eyes up here, fools! I also think a Castform evolution should get a better version of Forecast as its ability. What this better version would do is when it comes into battle, it automatically summons weather, like drizzle or drought do. However, you can choose which weather to summon when you are sent into the battle. That would make it a much more effective weather setter than it currently is, since it doesn't have to use a move to do it, and this layer of unpredictability would add a lot to its competitive viability. Whatever the evolution is, I hope it preserves Castform's cuteness, because as I said, it is the cutest Pokemon out there, and I would love for an equally cute Pokemon to be a lot stronger. Another one of my all-time favorite Pokemon that I think deserves an evolution is Zebstrika. Zebras have been my favorite animal since I was a very, very young child, and electric has been my favorite type for a long time, so of course combining those two together is gonna make a Pokemon that's one of my all-time favorites. Unfortunately, Zebstrika doesn't have a whole lot going for it in regards to battle strength. Zebstrika's best attacking stat is its physical attack. However, its physical move pool is extremely limited. The only physical moves it learns that are over 70 base power are Wild Charge, Giga Impact, Double Edge, Takedown, Bounce, and Thrash. Literally all of those moves have some kind of drawback, and only one of them is Stab. A Mega Evolution doesn't solve Zebstrika's moveset problem, since that means it would still just be a regular Zebstrika with the same moveset. In order for that problem to be changed and fixed, Zebstrika requires a drastic alteration to its biology, creating a new evolution with access to more moves that would make it a lot better. And I think the coolest possible way that they could do that would be turning Zebstrika into an electric Zebra Pegasus. Just think about it. We have never had a winged horse Pokemon. Considering how prominent Pegasi are in mythology, that's pretty surprising. While Rapidash could definitely be an interesting Pegasus Pokemon via an evolution or a Mega Evolution, I think Zebstrika is actually a better fit. This is because Pegasus are often associated with the sky, and what happens in the sky? Storms. An electric-type flying horse would be an excellent Pegasus Pokemon since it could wield incredible storm powers. This Mega Zebstrika designed by Stevo126, which I think should just be a regular Zebstrika evolution, is a perfect example of what this could look like. Its strength would certainly be fantastic. Electric flying is excellent typing, it would have access to so many decent flying type stab moves, and there's always the chance that some better physical electric type moves could be introduced in Sword and Shield. Maybe Zing Zap will be spread to Pokemon other than Togedemaru. If a Pegasus evolution of Zebstrika came to be, and it was really strong, then whatever that new Zebstrika evolution is would probably replace Zebstrika as one of my all-time favorite Pokemon. Heliolisk is another electric-type Pokemon that I quite like. I don't like it as much as Zebstrika, but I love lizards almost as much as I love zebras, and it's an electric type, so obviously I'm gonna like Heliolisk. The main reason I think Heliolisk deserves an evolution is that it doesn't seem done. It's obviously a good-looking Pokemon, but it gives me a lot of vibes of a middle stage starter. I really think it could have gotten one more stage of an evolution that would make it look more fearsome and imposing. Additionally, I dislike that it has the normal typing. Why? Why is that there? All that does is give it an extra weakness to fighting and an immunity to ghost that isn't gonna come in handy very often. I think a new evolution of Heliolisk with a different secondary typing would be an excellent solve to this problem. I think this concept for a Mega Heliolisk by TRX Picks would work fantastically as just a regular evolution of Heliolisk. It makes Heliolisk look more reptilian, hence the change of normal typing to dragon typing. It also gets a lot faster and gets better special attack, which better makes up for its pretty poor bulk. Kecleon is another lizard Pokemon that I think deserves an evolution. I think it's a cool, unique Pokemon, but I've also got a bit of sentimental attachment to it, since it's from the Hoenn region, my first original region, but also because I found a full odds shiny one in my Omega Ruby a couple years ago. There's only like 3 or 4 in the whole game. That was dope. Kecleon's stats aren't great, so I definitely think those could use an improvement. I understand why its speed is low, since Kecleon's gonna prefer to hide rather than run, so therefore I think its defenses should get boosted to make up for that lack of speed. Additionally, if you weren't aware, Kecleon's hidden ability is currently Protean, the ability that causes it to change type depending on what type of attack that it uses. Greninja is currently the most prolific user of this ability since it has far better stats than Kecleon does, but I think an evolution of Kecleon that always has Protean rather than only sometimes could be a really powerful, really interesting Pokemon. It would also make a lot of sense biologically as well, since as Kecleon get older and stronger, they get better control of their type-changing abilities, being able to change their type on command rather than just based on whatever type of attack hit them last. All Kecleon evolutions would be strong enough to do this since they're all older and all stronger, rather than just a special few prodigious regular Kecleon. The next Pokemon is Dunsparce, which is kind of in a similar situation to Farfetch'd. It's a Pokemon that many people have been saying deserves an evolution for many years, and it's here on my list because I agree with that. But before I discuss it in more detail, I wanted to share a pretty amusing anecdote about how when I was a kid, I thought Dunsparce evolved into Gligar. Prior to me ever owning a Pokemon game, we had a big poster of all of the Generation 2 Pokemon in Pokedex order, and Dunsparce was right before Gligar, and shared the pointy tail, the face spikes, the blue part of its design, and wings, kinda. I don't know, it was very silly of me, and I just wanted to let you guys know because I thought it was funny that I thought that. I won't spend too much time on Dunsparce since everyone knows this cute but weak Pokemon deserves some love. Change this weird, tiny winged snake Pokemon into a flying serpentine dragon Pokemon, and fans across the board will rejoice. And the final Pokemon is Gastrodon. Gastrodon is a Pokemon that's grown on me in recent years due to my Pokemon Battling Draft League team being the Houston Gastros. I named it that because it's a great pun, but also because Gastrodon is a pretty cute and well-designed Pokemon, so I like it. Gastrodon could use some help in the battle department though. Its water ground typing is fantastic since that means it only has one weakness in the entire game, and it's also got a ton of great coverage moves. However, its bulk is a bit lacking. Gastrodon does have terrible speed, which makes sense, it is a sea slug, but its bulk needs to be better to compensate for that. Therefore, I think a Gastrodon evolution should be one that changes it from being a sea slug to a sea snail. Having a design based more on the sea snail would allow its defenses to be much, much higher. This would make it a fantastic wall/tank/support Pokemon, which would cause the line to be used a lot more widely. So there we have it. Those are 10 Pokemon that I really hope get evolutions in Pokemon Sword and Shield. Thank you so much for watching this video, and if you want to watch some more of my fun Pokemon content, I recommend this video here, and also if you want to pick up a For Safety Porpoises shirt, you can do so by clicking right around here. Alright, that's all I have for now, so till next time, big fans, gotta catch them all!